It is Monday, November the 3rd.
This is The Warning.
One of the features of our age, and one of the reasons Donald Trump has been able to become president, is because of the collapse of trust between the American people in nearly every institution you could think to name. Trump took advantage of that collapse. He was able to put the lie into battle against the truth in an era where people just can't tell the difference between the two, out of a combination of laziness, indifference, and the incompetence, the malice, and the deep corruption of America's corporate news media. This is Larry Ellison. He is a man who's given tens and tens of millions of dollars to Donald Trump. Like all of the tech oligarchs, he is all in. He is an American fascist. His son has never worked a day in his life. He's never had a bad 10 minutes. He has no accomplishments. He has no skills. But in Trump's America, he has the one thing that you really need, an oligarch father. And so thus, the unaccomplished David, a teenage stunt pilot, now runs CBS News. He runs Paramount, where he makes movies with Tom Cruise, and he aspires to take control totally of CNN. His business model is simple. It has a fascist flavor. If he pleases the leader, he knows he can be a duke. He can do as he pleases. And so David Ellison has sought to please Trump by taking command of the news that he watches and soft-soaping to the American people what's going on. Norah O'Donnell, for many, many years, was a person who was respected and considered to be a real journalist. She's not. What she is a model. She looks good, and therefore, she got to read the news to you. But when it came time to test her character, there was nothing inside. Norah O'Donnell is as she appears to be. A holographic projection, empty, vapid. But she was able to get praised by Donald Trump, which is the only credential you need these days to be considered the next Walter Cronkite or Morrow, at least at CBS. Let's watch the praise. It gives you a flavor of the interview.
And you know that too, Norah.
I want to ask you about
You live here. You know that too.
I want to ask you about
Do you see a difference?
American
Do you
cities
see a difference?
in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
I think I've been working too hard. I haven't been out and about that much.
Oh, that's not a fair answer. You see a difference.
I get in my car and
Okay,
go
that's
to
a
work
good
and I
answer.
go home.
You don't have to use that one. Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't want to embarrass
I've been
her.
working too hard.
It's like, you know what the difference is? Like day and night.
There were no follow-up questions. There was no challenge. Trump spewed nonsense. Norah O'Donnell backed up. The corrupt crypto kingpin? You guessed it. Never heard of him.
This year, the president has pardoned or shortened the sentences of more than 1,600 people. The latest pardon was for a cryptocurrency tycoon who is known as CZ. The company CZ founded, Binance, helped boost the profile of the Trump family's crypto firm, World Liberty Financial.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that, and I heard it was a Biden witch hunt.
There are no questions that penetrate to the core of the issue. And by the way, where was the disclosure that ICE raided Norah O'Donnell's husband's restaurant? That wasn't relevant? CBS didn't have an ethical obligation to disclose that? Where were the penetrating questions about what Trump believes? Were the questions even written by 60 Minutes staff? Or were they handed to 60 Minutes staff by Barry Weiss? The interview, if you could call it that, enlightened the American people about nothing, well, beyond the corruption of the corporate news media. It is hard, if you just watch television, to know what's happening in America. In fact, if you just watch CBS, it's impossible. This is what corporate propaganda looks like.
So why won't Putin end this war?
But Norah, that was Joe Biden's war, not my war. I inherited that stupid war.
As the bloodiest land war in Europe since World War II continues,
But just a little list of look at this, wars.
President Trump wanted to make sure we saw the list of 8 international conflicts he says he's been able to end since returning to office.
And you have branded yourself the peace president.
Well, I think I did pretty good. I solved, those are 8 of the 9 wars I solved. You know how I solved them? I said, in many cases, in 60%, I said, if you don't stop fighting, I'm putting tariffs on both of your countries, and you're not going to be able to do business with the United States.
Why isn't that working with Putin?
It is working with Putin, I think.
And David Ellison appreciates, so long as he allows this drivel, this nonsense to spew out, he will be unimpeded when it comes time to use Daddy's billions to merge media companies, one after another. The people who run CBS, the corrupt people, the Sherry Redstone who sold it to David Ellison, all of these people have made a choice. And now Norah O'Donnell has made her choice. She is another media superstar on her knees. She has submitted. She is compliant. Whatever it is that she is, American journalist, well, at least in the sense of the way they used to make them, is the one thing she is not. Here's how to think about this. After the American people witnessed one of the greatest World Series in the history of the sport, the one thing that every person knows who watched that baseball game is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers, they left nothing on the field. They gave 100% for their fans, for the people that paid for the tickets. Millions watched maximum effort, maximum assertion of heart, of effort. What Norah O'Donnell did is lay down. She threw the game. She didn't try. She didn't stand up for the ordinary person who's trying to figure out what's going on. What Norah O'Donnell did was serve the interests of power and call it journalism. What Norah O'Donnell did was cash the check written for her by the corrupt Barry Weiss. What Norah O'Donnell did is pull out a gun, cock it, and shoot 60 Minutes in the head. Bang! She killed it. 60 Minutes is a venerable show until the second it wasn't. And what it became last night is the new show that's Fox Light. It comes on after football. Just another thing that was worthy killed by an American billionaire with no talent, no ethics, no credibility, no character, no vision, just a talent for keeping Daddy's money growing high in its pile. God bless America, and wow, thank you, CBS News, the home of Edward R. Murrow. You know how to do journalism right in the Trump era, at least enough to make Donald happy, and that's all that counts, right? So today, let's conclude with words of praise for the great and beautiful Norah O'Donnell, the apple of her Donald's eye.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.